talk about leadership, all right? What type of a captain are you on and off the field? Are you one of those aggressive guys that really scream and shout and rally the troops? Or are you more cool, calm, and collected? What's your style?
I believe, and because I believe in this type of captaincy, I try to live by it, or leadership rather, one of servitude. Because I believe as a leader, it is your duty to serve. That is what you're meant to do, to serve the people that put you there. You are there to work for them. You're there to help them. You're there to inspire in them, you know? It's about the people. So for me, it's all about serving. And I'd like to think I'm not one that's screaming at people. I try very hard not to scream and be the aggressive one. More of a, I want to inspire and not force, you know. I think that's the word I'm looking for, force. Rather inspire in people to get them to be the best version of themselves.
Beautiful. Tell me a little bit more about the 𝗀̈Ce Netball Club. What makes it so incredibly unique?
I think coming from an institution that is really academically oriented, the best word I can use is pretty cool to be smart and to play sports. I'm not gonna lie. Be able to get that right, I give props. I think that's one of the coolest things ever because people think it's impossible to balance the two. But I wouldn't say impossible. I think it just requires more work. It's hard, definitely, but impossible never. Nothing is ever impossible. It just requires you to tweak a few things. And I think that's what makes it really cool being part of it. Even the people that are there and just the culture that the players have, very warm, loving, very big on just playing the sport that we love and that we enjoy. And I think once you've got that down, everything else just really smooth sailing from then on.
Definitely. Let's take you back to your schooling days. Cambridge University, or Cambridge Academy, pardon me. How important was that in terms of just developing the balance between becoming a student athlete?
Looking at it now, I think that was one of the most vital things that I could have done to propel me into my student athlete career, the one that I'm living now. Yes, then it wasn't as hectic because we didn't, you know, then it was high school. It wasn't these huge degrees that we're doing at such institutions, and the sports weren't as demanding as they are now. But I think the little exposure that I had to that student athlete balance that I had to develop helped me going into university, because then the struggle wasn't that bad, you know, having to adopt it then. Now it was just same game, just a higher level.
Definitely. And of course, some of the biggest challenges. So what are some of the biggest challenges being a student athlete?
The biggest, like I said, is hard, the balance. Very, very big thing. No one ever teaches you. I mean, if you can ask right now within my peers, if you can ask anyone, how do you do it? I can assure you the answer will be, I don't know. Most of us don't know how we do it, but we try and make it work. Really establishing that balance of school life and sports life, because you don't want to negate either. You want to, so that you're putting as much effort into the one as you are the other one, as well as balance, a social balance. I think that's a very important thing that a lot of us actually as student athletes, we lose, because now we're just so focused on school and athletics and sports, I mean, that we kind of lose that, you know, varsity experience that you're supposed to have, where you join societies, you make relationships, you explore different passions that you might have, going out. I can count on my hand the amount of times I've said, okay, I am going out. And my definition of going out is sitting down and having lunch on a Saturday. That is my, as a varsity student, me going out. The Saturday, we're going to have, or me saying, oh my gosh, I found the coolest place that does painting. Let's go paint. That's me out. So to establish that work, that school, sport, and social balance, I think that's a very big thing that you never taught, and you kind of have to figure it out by yourself. And yeah, it's pretty hard, but once you get the hang of it, life becomes a bit easier. Yeah.
Definitely. Let's talk a little bit about your highlights in the sport of netball. What are some of those moments that have really stood out for you?
For me personally, I think the first one would have to be my call up to represent the under-21 𝗙𝗹𝗶𝗹. I remember the day that I got the news. I think I'd finished an exam, I was exhausted, and I just got home and I slept. And I get up and I open my messages, and I'm just being flooded with notifications. I'm thinking, what is going on? And then I opened my coach's message because I was the top one, and she's like, congratulations, blah, 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 I'm so proud of you. And I get the official notification. Not a crier, but I'm not gonna lie, that day I bawled. Bawled my eyes out. It was an overwhelming moment because it wasn't something I expected. When it came to netball, I just kind of played, just to enjoy netball. But to get that kind of recognition it was big for me. And it was my first exposure to high performance netball. I remember the camps that we went to. I was shocked to the system, I will not lie. Every night I went to bed, I was just dog tired. I couldn't breathe half the time. But I'm very happy I got that exposure to high performance because it showed me the intensity and the level of training that I should be doing on the daily to then reach my aspirations of obviously playing netball at the highest level possible. That, and I would also have to say my second one would have to be our Varsity Cup qualification as this year. That was, wow, such a beautiful experience. I mean, this is my 5th year being part of the institution, playing netball, and looking at how they went from the B section to the A section and now qualifying, being top of Premier League now and qualifying for Varsity Cup. It's been a journey. I mean, us in the oldies, the old people in the team were talking about it when we qualified. And when we finished that one match, that just solidified everything. It was a mess of tears in that circle. And we had a moment where we just prayed. And I remember our vice captain, 𝗙liche, was praying there. And she was just choking up. And everyone was on the side trying to grab their tears, trying to look all grown. But it was such an overwhelming moment for us because it's been a long journey. And looking at the humps, the bumps, and the difficulties that we had to deal with, we made it. And yeah, I think those are my 2 top ones today.
You're locked onto the Sport MVT Insider, a podcast for unrelenting coverage of women in sport. I absolutely love diving deeper into the journeys of our athletes, coaches, and administrators to get to know them a little bit better than we do. Coming up this Wednesday is an interesting round of quick fire questions, a great opportunity for some good laughs and some great banter. Keep it locked onto Sport MVT, where we celebrate our women in sport.